What's going on, guys? Dan the Eco Man here. I hope you're having a great, fantastic Sunday. I wanted to talk to you about a little problem I just ran into. Very, very minor problem. It is a problem, and I don't know how I could be so stupid, for lack of a better term. Hopefully that doesn't offend anybody. But so it's time for me to do a spark plug replacement. And I went and did a little bit of research. Unfortunately, I didn't do enough research, and I needed to replace my spark plug. So if you've seen me on Instagram, you see my Instagram story, you saw that I went with the NGK Iridium spark plugs. Unfortunately, I was not paying attention. I was too excited to get them, so I just placed the order and saw that it was the fit for my vehicle. And I went with the recommendation gap of 0.028 and installed them on the EcoBeast, and we started having some issues. So I was starting the car up first. It sounded it sounded all right. And I ran into an issue where it started to then sound like a rally car, which sounded pretty sweet, but again, was not good. So it sounded cool, but it was robbing all kinds of performance and was not doing what it was supposed to be doing. So had to shut it down and pull those spark plugs out. So I thought it was the gap on the between the electrode and the conductor, and it was not the gap, because I reinstalled them with a little bit wider gap and still ran into the same issue. But then did a little more research, and I should be slapping myself in the face for that. So it was a very minor thing that I missed. So the plugs that I got were one step colder plugs than stock, and that requires a specific tune for a vehicle that's typically running more boost than stock, or using alternate fuel systems and things like that. So let me get outside to show you what I'm talking about. Much better. So as you can see, I got the Rouse cold air intake, and I'm going to end up changing the spark plugs now to the OEM style Ford Motorcraft spark plug. So I'm going to go ahead and knock that out, and then we'll talk about, what happened and the changes that I noticed. Okay, so I got all the coil packs screws taken off. So you just go ahead and pop these out, and that'll give you access to the spark plug zone, as I refer to it as. Take this last one out down here. Your spark plug is going to be down there in those holes, and I'm going to use my 5/8 socket to go ahead and take those out. And I'll show you a comparison between these and the older ones. Okay, so this is the new Ford Motorcraft spark plug that I will be replacing the NGK one with. This is the old spark plug, which is the stock OEM Motorcraft spark plug. So as you can see, it's in decent shape. They're not horrible, but you can definitely tell it's definitely time to go ahead and replace that to keep the engine running to the optimum performance it's supposed to be at. So I'll show you the NGK spark plug. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, so we ran into a little bit of a frustrating problem, and I happen to think I have broken a spark plug. So it's the NGK one that is in there. I'm going to have to look up some methods and figure out how to get this sucker out of there. So stay tuned. I'm going to check this thing out, get the spark plug out of there, and put the new Ford Motorcraft spark plugs in it. So what do we have here? Ta-da! Makeshift vacuum cleaner. I have broken porcelain in this freaking hole right here. I don't know if you can see. So I'm trying to suck that out so I can finish getting the spark plug out so I can replace the other ones. And I made this. So let's try it, see how that works. Wow. Check that out. This is why you take your time and you do the best not to break spark plugs. I can't even begin to explain how this happened. I really don't know how, but it did, and it was a pain in the you-know-what to get out. I thought I was gonna have to have it towed, spend all this money, drop it off at the dealer so they can get this bad boy out. But if you happen to have that issue where somehow or another you crack this porcelain, it's gonna be a long day. So you're gonna need a couple tools. Get you some of these, because you're gonna need some of that to pull some of the freaking porcelain out. Get you one of these bad boys, you're gonna need that. And I used some of these little pick tool things, and I wrapped them in double-sided Gorilla Tape to shove down into the where the spark plugs go, down in there, and slowly and painstakingly stick it into the porcelain to pull it out piece by freaking piece. And then I used an airbed blower, which came in very clutch, to blow out the rest of it while I plugged the other holes with the fresh new spark plugs. I made sure all the holes are closed off. Used this to blow every single bit of that porcelain out. Used a little bit more sticky tape, and that took care of that problem. And I was able to create the hole for the final Ford Motorcraft spark plug. This is the little pick tool I was talking about that's wrapped in a double-sided Gorilla Tape. And as you can see, there's some porcelain stuck to it. It was a very long and painful process. So don't break spark plugs, please. So these were the ones that I first had. And right now I'm at about 28,000 miles, give or take. And I definitely beat the snot out of this thing every now and then as far as acceleration goes. So as you can see, they're not in terrible shape. They're okay, but they needed to be replaced. So they were definitely pushing that point of replacement. This guy, I don't even know what to tell you. NGK, great brand. Don't make mistakes and get the wrong spark plugs, because you will be dealing with what I just dealt with. Unless you're smarter than me, which most of you probably are. So this is the last of the Mohicans. A little pun in there. We're gonna put that in there, and we'll be good to go. All right, so just putting on the last, tightening these coil packs, making sure everything is tightened down. And that one's snug. Don't need to crank down on these. Obviously, just snug them up. They're connected to plastic, so you gotta be careful. Snug it up. All right, and you just push that back down there, that little clip. And then there's another one over here. And it's all right if you this is just to kind of keep them out of the way. There we go. Push that down there in that little screw. Okay, well, let's pray that no porcelain shards got into the engine, because then I'm gonna have to make another video. So we're gonna go ahead and do the startup. Okay, sitting inside the car. I'm gonna start it up. Let's see what happens. I'm so nervous. I don't even want to start it. Here goes nothing. We have power. Check the gauges. Voltage 14.7, perfect. Engine oil tint, let it warm up. Let's go outside and check it out. Sounds good. I love that turbo whistle. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks for checking it out. We got the engine cover back on, Ford Motorcraft Ford knows what they're doing, all right? So, hey, can't go wrong with OEM spark plugs. NGK, nothing on them. I made a mistake, got the wrong plugs, so I fixed it. We'll be looking to the future. Obviously, adding a bigger turbo, getting more boost. Then you want to look into one step colder spark plugs. So, hey, thanks for checking it out. Talk to you guys later. Peace.